The baby wouldn't stop crying until she picked him up. Then silence, peace. That's when the millionaire stormed in, eyes blazing, and everything changed. Accusations flew. A complaint was filed. And within hours, she wasn't just fired, she was labeled a criminal. But what the cameras caught told a different story. One the internet wouldn't let die. What began as a routine cleaning job turned into a national reckoning. This is the story of the woman who found a child and uncovered something far bigger. Comment your city. We're watching the map light up. Maria had always kept her head down and her spirit up. A single mother and part-time cleaner, she moved quietly through the wealthy neighborhoods of Atlanta, earning just enough to keep the lights on and her son fed. Every morning, she took the 6 a.m. bus, uniform pressed, headphones in, ready to scrub the world clean room by room. Today was no different. She arrived at the Sterling estate, a sprawling mansion owned by tech millionaire Thomas Sterling. The job was simple: clean the guest wing, don't touch anything personal, and leave by noon. Maria never crossed boundaries until she heard the soft whimper of a child. That sound wasn't supposed to be there. Her hands froze, heart tightening. She looked around. The house was too quiet. Something was wrong. She didn't know it yet, but what she was about to do would not only risk her job, it would change everything. Maria followed the sound, each step echoing louder than the last in the silent hallway. She hesitated at a door slightly ajar. Inside, a baby maybe 10 months old sat alone on the cold marble floor, cheeks streaked with tears. No nanny, no crib, no blanket. Just a forgotten child in a house worth millions. She picked him up instinctively, rocking gently. He calmed almost immediately in her arms. But just then footsteps, fast, sharp. Thomas Sterling appeared in the doorway, phone in hand, eyes flaring with suspicion. "What are you doing with my son?" he demanded. Maria stammered, explaining the crying, the empty room. But he wasn't listening. His eyes weren't on the baby, they were on her. "You people always think you can help yourselves to what isn't yours." Her heart dropped. She froze, not in fear of losing the job, but in that familiar soul-deep fear of being misjudged, of being black in the wrong room. He snatched the child away, cradling him awkwardly. The baby wailed again, louder this time. Sterling's face changed just for a second when he realized the baby had only stopped crying in her arms, but the moment passed. "Get out, now," he barked. Maria walked out, hands shaking, eyes burning. No pay, no explanation, no apology, just the weight of a lie already forming in his mind. And behind her, that child's cry still echoed. 3 days later, Maria was called into the agency's office, expecting her final paycheck. She walked in only to be met with a cold stare and a printed complaint. Attempted kidnapping, it read. Her legs buckled. Thomas Sterling had filed a report. She tried to speak, to defend herself, but the supervisor had already made up her mind. "You're lucky he didn't call the police." Maria walked out, humiliated, branded, and blacklisted. One man's life by wealth and whiteness had just cost her everything. Meanwhile, online, a leaked security clip surfaced, not of Maria stealing, but of her soothing the crying child. The comments poured in. She cared more than the father. "This woman needs justice." And then came the one that changed everything. "Who is she and how can I help her?" The clip went viral. People from around the country rallied behind Maria, donating, posting, demanding answers. Within a week, the agency issued an apology. Thomas Sterling, pressured by media outrage and public shame, released a carefully worded statement, but Maria didn't want his words. She wanted dignity. Justice. She used the donations to start a childcare service, safe, loving, inclusive. What was meant to break her became the foundation she stood on. But her story is not rare. How many Marias have been silenced, shamed, erased simply because of the color of their skin? Racism doesn't always scream. Sometimes, it whispers in boardrooms and hides behind respectability. How many more quiet injustices will it take before we start believing black women the first time? If this moved you, share it. Someone needs to hear this today.